So, as in ABAP, we're going to discuss what are the topics that we have in ABAP which needs to be learned by us. So, what are the topics that we have? So, the first and foremost is the first topic that we have here is data dictionary. I'm going to discuss more in detail about the data dictionary. The second concept would be reporting. It's a part of the programming. And then we have module pool, or this is also called as screen programming, and this is also called as dialog programming or dynamic programming, and Dyne Pro. So all this stuff. Okay. Now these are the different names for the same concept. Then we have the forms. In the forms, again we'll have scripts and smart forms, which we'll discuss. Then we have the conversions, and then we have the enhancements. Then we have okay. So before this, I'd like to include before this, I'd like to include OOPS concept as well. So then we have the forms, then we have the conversions, enhancements, cross applications. So these are the concepts that we have to know as an ABAP. Additionally, we have recently been, workflow is there from very long time. So in some projects, it might be needed for you to learn workflow. In some projects, it might not be needed. So other than that, we have the HANA ABAP. HANA ABAP is the latest concept. Okay, addition to all these concepts, we have the HANA ABAP. Now, let's come back to data dictionary. What exactly we do in the data dictionary is we declare data declarations, data definitions, and data data. So data will be stored physically in the data dictionary forever. That's what we have. The transaction code for this is SE11, and we are going to do this. In this again, we'll have data dictionary objects like database tables. So creation of database tables, we are going to do somewhere in 4 projects. Okay, and views. In views, we have 4 different types of views. So we'll have 4 projects here, and then we'll have the data types. In data types, again, we'll have we don't have any kind of a project because there's a small concept which we'll be including in the above projects. Data types. Then we have type pools, and then we have the domains, log objects, search help, and log objects. So these are the concepts, but in this we have we'll be doing one project here because that's a very important concept. So the rest of all the concepts will be included as a small concept, so we cannot consider them as a project. And reporting, again, will have classical reporting. The first reporting that we have is classical reporting. Classical reporting, the look and feel will be just like a notepad format. Okay, and ALVs, ABAP list viewer. ALV stands for ABAP list viewer. The PDF that I shared it with you will have the full form of it. So ALVs will be there. ALVs, the look and feel will be good. So what's the basic difference between classical reporting and ALV reporting? The look and feel, that's it. So in classical reporting, again, we'll have the basic report and ALV interactive reports. Now what is the difference between basic and interactive is basic report will have a single screen. Interactive report is kind of a drill down screen, like a first screen, second screen, third screen, something like that. Then we have this ALVs. ALVs also will have basic report and then interactive. Basic report, interactive report, and then we have the hierarchical report as well. So we have something called hierarchical as well. So we are going to basically do this projects in classical reporting. We'll do somewhere around 8 projects. Okay, so in this, like basic LV will do 1, interactive will do 1, but on the whole we'll be doing some 8 projects in reporting. Okay, and then we have the module pool programming. We'll do somewhere around 4 projects here, and object-oriented programming. Now, module pool programming, I've already explained you that it is basically a concept used to manipulate the data. In the back end, you can enter the data, you can save data, you can delete the data, whatever we want to do, you can do it. I've shown you that on the screen, right? So we will do some 4 projects on this. Object-oriented programming will do somewhere in 5 projects, and Oops also will have ALVs here. So in oops also we'll be doing ALVs, but other than that we'll be doing some three major projects. When I say projects, we will be discussing some basics. After that we'll be going ahead and doing the project. This is what we have. Now we have this forms. Before getting into the forms, object-oriented programming, you might have already heard about object-oriented programming in C, C++, and C++, or J2EE and all. You might have heard it. The concepts will be same here. The coding will be different. Okay, the syntax will be different here in the programming, but concept would be same. If you have learned about the polymorphism, encapsulation, inheritance, abstraction, so these all will be there. But if you're not learned that, is also fine, because we are going to start from the scratch and we're going to explain that, we're going to discuss that. Object-oriented programming happens to be a very interesting concept, but it is kind of a, most of the people don't like it. Okay, so let's understand why they don't like it. Basically, object-oriented programming is something which gives you a lot of stuff to make use of. Okay, so I'll take someone like, say, I'll take any random name. Let's say Ashwant. Ashwant is alone at home, so he would like to cook. So he cooked for 1 or 2 days. So how many dishes do you think Yashwant will cook for himself? Hardly one or two, not more than that. And but one day Yashwant is bored with this food, so he just want to go. He's alone, so he just want to go for a buffet. Okay, buffet lunch, and he would like to have a lavish food. So in buffet lunch, what happens? All the dishes will be kept open. You just have to pay the basic amount, and then you can eat whatever you want, how much you want, right? So now he goes to a buffet. Now in a buffet, how many dishes would you think Yashwant will taste? Minimum 10 to 20, right? So what happens here is that when he is cooking on himself, is adjusting his requirement with 1 or 2 dishes. But when he is going to the buffet, he is actually pushing himself to 10 to 20 dishes. Now why is it so? The basic difference about the first scenario and second scenario happens to be the what do you call uh, everything is ready made. Time is not, again, he need not spend the time for preparing them. So in the first case, everything have to be prepared by him, so he'll try to cut short his requirement. But when it comes to the second one, everything is prepared, so he'll have more than what he can normally. So what happens here is object oriented programming is similar to a buffet. Lot of lot of lot of functionalities have been already prepared and kept ready in the system. All that we have to do is we just need to make use of them in the right way, right time. And so if object-oriented programming gives us so much of ready-made code, why people don't like it is normal question. Okay, so it has got everything to do, and you don't have to struggle much, and you can give functionalities more than what the client is expecting, because everything is ready-made. You just have to call it into your program and run it. But the major problem is here that, okay, let's come back to the Yashwant's example. So Yashwant, he just had a great buffet, so he keeps on talking about it. So he's one of his grandfather goes to the buffet and he would like to have it. Now Yashwant's grandfather went there and he had it, and he comes back and says that that's the worst food that he ever had. So, like, Yashwant will be shocked, like, this is the best food I ever had. So why my grandpa is telling like that? So he'll ask, what did you have? He says, like, I had some soup. In the soup, I mixed ice cream and ate, and and in the sambar, I mixed sweet, ice cream or sweet, and I ate. So nothing was good. So now what's the conclusion here is that Yashwant was having in the right way, and Yashwant's grandfather was not having in the right way. So if you can make use of the classes which are ready made in the system in the right way, in the right proper way, then you can give a lot of features. So the tricky part here is that you need to know which functionality to be used when. That's where people get puzzled. Okay, so if you can learn that, then oops concept will give you a lot of features, which advanced features which a normal reporting program cannot give. Okay, I hope you got this point. So forms is basically, as I told you, will design pages, will design page, and this page, in this page we are going to add these windows, and that windows and that windows can in turn have the text and all. So basically here we are designing a page, just like for example an invoice have to be sent to a customer, then we can design a page and print it and give it automatically. It will have the dynamic data and static data. So if you prepare a form, just a simple example is, you can send greetings to a million customers with one click, because you're going to design it in such a way that every page will have its own to address and the customer name and all this stuff, right? So this is something. We can also have the logo of the company and all. So here we'll have two major topics: scripts and smart forms. And other than that, as I told you, like we'll have Adobe Forms also. So we'll be doing somewhere around two projects in this forms. Adobe Forms we will not do, because in for that we need additional software. Adobe Forms. Now scripts and smart forms, you can just view the data, you cannot edit the data. But Adobe Forms, you can design a form and you can also update the data in the backend in the database tables as well. So in the conversions is a concept for moving data from non-SAP to SAP. Non-SAP to SAP, we have the conversions. In this we have the BDCs, batch data conversion. Then we have, in this BDC again we'll have call transaction method and session method. So these are the various techniques which we use for getting the data from non-SAP systems to SAP systems. So based upon the based upon the requirement and scenario, we'll decide which concept to be adopted. Let's say legacy system migration workbench, and then we have the BAPI business application programming interface. So these are the things that we have in the conversions concept. Now we are going to do some around 3 to 4 projects in this conversions as well, and then we have the enhancements. As I was discussing, enhancements is a concept wherein we can add functionality to SAP standard programs or standard tables. Okay, so for this we have the user exits and baddies. User exits and baddies. So we have these two concepts. User exits is old concept and baddies is the latest concept, which is actually based on the oops concept. Okay, so this enhancements enables us to add some functionality to SAP standard programs. As I told you, we cannot modify, edit, delete SAP standard programs. You cannot do that. But the only thing that you can do is add some functionality to the existing ones. So how do we do that, and what are the things that we have? We'll do it. We'll see that. So we'll do somewhere on 2 projects here. And then we have the cross applications for exchange of data, sending and receiving the data from different systems to SAP system. So let's say our vendors are working on Java system, our customers are working on some Ramco system. So we cannot force them to change to SAP. Even if they are in on SAP also, they'll have a different server. We'll have a different server. So there should be an exchange of data. So for the exchange of data, we'll have a lot of concepts here. Like we have RFC remote function call. Okay, we have the RFC remote function call, and then we have the EDI, which is an outdated concept which we are no more using in SAP. ALE, application linking and enabling, which is widely used and it's a free concept. And then we have this something around PI, process integration, or it's now called as process orchestration. All these are the technical details. Don't much focus on the technical details. Just understand the overview of it. Okay, I'm just trying to give you an overview. That's it. So workflow is a kind of automation of process. I hope everyone is clear with cross applications. So it depends which cross application concept do we have to use. Like if it is SAP to SAP, there is one technique. SAP to non SAP, we have another technique, something like that. Now workflow is for automation of data or automation of process. automation of process. So automation in the sense, like if at all, if you have a particular kind of a scenario, for example, one of you like Rahul would like to apply for a leave, and if when he applies for a leave, the manager has to approve it or reject it. So for approving or rejecting, if either the manager does not approve, does not reject, but still he is like just lagging. So Rahul cannot decide or cannot plan for his leave. He cannot plan for maybe he wants to go to out of station and he's planning for it, and manager neither approves or rejects it, so he'll be in a mess. So for that reason, let's say if we have an automation in such a way that within 24 hours his manager is not responding to him, automatically that mail will be escalated to his manager's manager. Then what will happen, because to avoid that situation, the manager will either approve, reject, or do something to it. Okay, he takes some action. So this is kind of an automation. Now automation of some process will actually save a lot of time. For example, even in the warehouse. Okay, let's take another example. Warehouse, what happens is, like, you have stock, raw materials are in stock. So in a car manufacturing company, we have tires warehouse is there. So tires will be purchased from a different company, and the car manufacturing company actually combines them and assembles them and sells it to us. So now this tire manufacturing company has to always you know always have to go ahead and manufacture this tires, right? So now here we have, we have warehouse, so we have tires. So tires will be in the warehouse, right? Let's say if every day 100 tires are being taken out, then then if we update that in the SAP system, suddenly when the stock is less than 1000 tires, okay, there are no more tires now. Okay, there are no more tires now. These tire manufacturing company by default will be intimated about this tires, like tires are done, we are what do you call, we are done with, and there are no more tires, so you just have to bring it. Then they'll be intimated about it, and automatically they'll bring it. So that automation of process can be useful in many ways. Okay, so that comes in the workflow. HANA ABAP is the latest concept in which we have HANA based. What exactly is HANA database and all these things, we'll discuss that. And ABAP, how do we actually do ABAP in that particular HANA ABAP is what we'll see in that particular HANA ABAP concept. So these are the various concepts. So we're going to do some 4 projects here in cross applications, and we're going to do some 2 projects in the workflow, and say some, actually there are 10 projects in fact we can do a lot of projects in HANA ABAP, but depending upon your syllabus and content, we can plan for it. HANA ABAP actually happens to be a separate module as of now, because we have a lot of features to be learned in HANA ABAP. Okay, this is a quick overview of ABAP, various topics.